welcome to Be Connected Wednesday. Our guest speaker today, and I've known Janeen on and off for probably about 3 or 4 years now, thanks to BBX, is Janeen Vosper, personal branding specialist. Janeen, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jason. This is one of my favourite topics to speak on. My background is I was a general manager of sales for a multi-million-dollar company for 20 years and coached commission-based sales teams. I have also represented Australia in professional speaking contests. But what I've been doing over the last few years is running sales training, running speaking, running how to get organised, your LinkedIn profile, putting it all together. And what I realised when I was traveling up to the Cape and away from business last year is all of that is about putting out your personal brand and doing it in a way that you're using the right language, the right words, the right platforms to do that for yourself and to get your message across well. I just want to ask, has anyone heard of Alfred Wallace?
Name rings a bell.
Have you heard of Charles Darwin by chance? So Alfred Wallace was the gentleman that actually thought up the idea of the theory that Charles Darwin is famous for, but he didn't know how to market himself and get his message out there. So Charles Darwin sort of got on the bandwagon and went, oh, I better get ahead of the game here. And he knew the people to go to. He knew how to get that message out, put the papers together. Wallace had actually put papers together. Charles Darwin created his book. And he got in front of the right people with the right message. Another one I want to ask you about is Lewis Latimer. Have you heard of Lewis Latimer at all? No. He invented the light bulb.
Oh.
We hear about Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison took 1,000 efforts to get the filament right. Lewis Latimer had a filament that was working in light bulbs for up to 20 minutes, well before Thomas Edison. But he was a Negro, so he didn't have the opportunity to have the same stage as Thomas Edison. And he just, again, didn't have the right information. He was just an inventor. He wasn't out there to promote himself. And this is what happens to a lot of people in business is they are great at what they do, but they don't know how to get their message out so it gets seen and it gets known, and then they get the results from it. And that's what I do with all of the skill base that I have, is to do that. So the 5 steps, it's the word brand. How clever is that? The 5 steps, the first one is absolutely be bold. When you get the opportunity to do something, say yes. And it's going to, the more uncomfortable you feel, the better. If you are doing things that are just fitting within that comfort zone of yours, you're definitely not going to get out there. You're not going to be able to have the success that you want. So if someone says, I need a speaker to do the spotlight, I need somebody to sit on a forum, put your hand up and say yes, and then figure out how you're going to do it afterwards. But set yourself in places where you've got that opportunity. Of course, learning the skills helps as well along the way, but to say yes and just be bold in that first part. The R is be relevant. There's a lot of information that I'm seeing come out, but it's coming out to the wrong audiences and it's not relevant to what those audiences want to hear or see. But really making sure whatever information you've got is right for that audience. I'm just looking at who is here. So Lana is bookkeeper for tradies, and that information, all
admin,
articles,
not bookkeeper.
Sorry?
Admin, not bookkeeper.
Oh, admin. Okay, sorry, Lana. So all of your blogs, all of your videos, everything, every bit of marketing you create to sit on that particular space that you're talking about tradies all the time. So if we get a lot of people, one of the things I do is help people figure out what they're going to write about, blogs about, or videos, or what they're going to put some marketing together. But it's got to stay on topic all the time, and so you know who you're having a conversation with. And it's not a random conversation. It's a conversation with somebody specific. So if I got a retreat coming up, a branding style retreat, so the people coming along are mostly women stepping into CEO roles. So that's that conversation. We hit the mark of that conversation because that's who's enrolling. It was very, very specifically targeted to that market. So needing to be relevant. Being authentic, the A is be authentic. I am not Tony Robbins. I'm 6'4", running around, well, 6'7", I think, isn't he, or something, running around the stage, jumping out, using offensive language. That's not my style. But I do present a lot, and I stand in front of groups and have a style that has a bit of humor, and it's me. It's being very, very authentic. So when you're doing your marketing, trying to stand out, then definitely be you, because there is only one of you, and that uniqueness is all about you. And that's where I help people set up their LinkedIn profiles. I'll give you a tip with LinkedIn profiles, just one simple little tip. Have your professional image facing your banner, not away. A lot of people have their face facing away from their banner, and what it means is they're disconnecting on a subconscious level. They're disconnecting from themselves and their work. There's a whole lot of little things like that with setting up profiles. The reason I love LinkedIn is once you've got your LinkedIn profile set up, you can use it right across all your other social media and pull bits of it out. But again, it's about you and who you are, and people want to get to know you. And another way to do that is through your videos, and we help people put together a video that is about them. Not this, they still look good, but they're not this professional flashy thing that is not real. Especially this year and after the last 2 years, people want to get to know you. It's really important that you put yourself out there and be authentic in the process. N is to get noticed. So talking about where you're putting your social media, and I talked about LinkedIn. If you're in business, if you don't have a great LinkedIn profile, you're really letting yourself down, and utilizing your LinkedIn profile effectively is important as well. But where are your audience? Are they, you won't sell on Facebook. It's not what it's for. It's just to get known. It's just to be out there all the time. So how can you be in front of people all the time? I mentioned to the guys in our group earlier, I've set up most of my scheduled marketing across 6 platforms, and created it, and my VA's scheduling it for me nearly for the year. So while I'm traveling a lot this year, stuff will be coming out all of the time, and it just means that, oh, she's there. I thought she was on holidays. Oh, okay. You're just in front of people all the time. So the D is to be determined or driven, or whatever you want that word to be. So have plans in place. That's worked with a group the other day. We're working on their vision and their mission and how to stay on track. Once you're really clear on your vision of what you want to create, it's much, much easier to stay on track with your business plan. To be able to write a one-page business plan is absolutely vital, because the beauty of that, you'll continue to look at it and make adjustments where you need to, and to write your goals down. So have those goals in place. If you don't write them down, they're just a wish, and they need to have a date where they're achieved. If they don't have a date, they're just a wish as well. So that's the be bold, be relevant, be authentic, be noticed, and be determined is branding. Any questions on that at all? Ed, you too.
I have a question. Yeah, it's a little bit tangential to what you're saying, but just in your experience, is there a shift in the life cycle of a business? Like, I imagine most of us here are founders of businesses, and almost by necessity, the branding of the business is very much centered around an individual person. In your experience, is there a shift in the growth of a business where the brand of the business takes on a life of its own, and the founder kind of slips into the background as part of that brand?
Yeah, good question. Yes and no. If you're someone like McDonald's, you're definitely a brand. That is the brand, those bigger brands. When you still are within the business, you still are the brand. The brand gets known, but usually because of the experience somebody's had with the business or with yourself. So it's still, there's no hiding. Still, it's a matter of being the brand for your business, and as your business grows, I think that's what's with all of us. We want the opportunity maybe to step out of the day-to-day running of things, but be even more so the brand for the business. So yes, you can build two brands up, and particularly with LinkedIn, you can have a profile, a business profile and a personal profile. Again, that's one of the reasons I like that, and focus on the brand for the business, and then you would decide whether you're writing your articles or in a first person or third person, as if you were the brand writing it or you were writing it personally. I recommend doing it personally, but you can do both. So yes, yeah, as it grows.
Thank you.
Did that answer it? Is that sort of confused even more?
No, it's just for me, it's thinking through scalability and longevity of the business. So, I'm 52 now. When I'm 62, 72, 82, I can't, I need to fade out, and someone else needs to take over that role, I guess, of
the videos, things that we're creating for businesses now. We're interviewing the main players in the businesses. So it's not just focused on the one person, and that becomes the business then. Yeah, but they're still individuals. We just, it's human nature. We just really liked. I mean, I was going to use McDonald's as an example. I haven't been to McDonald's in about 40 years. But if you go into, your local butcher shop, it's because it's not just it's a handy shop. It's because you have a chat to the butcher because you go there regularly to do that. So,
yeah.
Any other questions? No. Janeen, thank you very much. That was wonderful.
Thank you.